And police are releasing new information about the murders of one teenage girl's mother and grandparents in Riverside. They say it stemmed from a catfishing incident involving the teenage girl.
Yo, this is the Riverside catfishing triple homicide, a dangerous online connection. In the months leading up to the tragedy, a teenage girl living in Riverside, California, became entangled in an online relationship with a man who was not who he claimed to be.
Authorities say the suspect, Austin Lee Edwards, lied about who he was when he met the teenage girl online. They say Edwards drove from Virginia to Riverside to see the girl in an abduction attempt.
The man was later identified as Austin Lee Edwards, a 28-year-old weirdo, a former Virginia State Police trooper who had recently worked for the
Investigators say at
Washington
some
County
point he
Sheriff's
killed the
Office.
teenager's parent and two grandparents. On
Wow.
Friday, San Bernardino County.
Edwards was using a method investigators call catfishing, but over here we like to call just being a weirdo. Edwards posed as this young dude close to the girl's age. So like he was just like, "Oh, look, my name's Justin," and or something like that, and she was just like, "Oh." But any hooters, um the detectives later confirmed that he catfished her, and it was pretty sad. But on the morning of Friday, November 25th, 2022, this is where it all took a turn for the worse. This is where we get serious, y'all. The day after Thanksgiving, literally, Edwards traveled across all the way to Riverside. He pulled up to the girl's house in La Sierra neighborhood, like kind of over there. It's a nice neighborhood over there. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty cool. I live over here, like kind of by downtown. It's nice over here too. It used to be bad, but anyways, back to the story. Neighbors pretty much told the reporters that they seen the red Kia, the dude parked outside, and overheard like a bunch of arguing or something going on in the house. And then this is it's just sad, There's no other way to say it. Edwards unlived three members of the girl's family. He took her grandfather, rest in peace, to Mark Winek, 69, the grandmother, rest in peace, Sharie Winek, 65, and the mother, Brooke Winek, rest in peace, 38. Cops confirmed that all three victims were unalived right in the house. And then the dude set the house on fire in an effort to destroy all the evidence and to be like, oh, it was just a fire. But yeah, cops ain't stupid. Neither are we. Some people are. Anyways, let's get back to the story. Flames consumed the house and was just like boom on fire. The dude Edwards left, took the girl. Firefighters came to the house and they seen that there was three victims lying and then that they were deceased or unalived or however you want to say it. The Riverside Police Department announced that all three were unalived at the scene. Family members and friends close described the Wineks as loving, deeply connected people to their community. Mark and Sharie were longtime Riverside residents and active grandparents. They took care of them kids, while Brooke was remembered as a good mother and a devoted her life to her children. The sadness of the crime, it's just sad, and it sent shockwaves all through Riverside, and it was just sad. I remember seeing this on the news. It was just like, dang, yo, it's pretty sad. So the dude, after doing that, hit the road. Edwards was like, yo, I'm gone. He took the chick with him and
Sheriff's
he
deputies
dipped.
spotted and started chasing the suspect's car on Highway 247. That's when they say the suspect shot at them before crashing in the desert toward Vegas near Kelso. Deputies say he fired a gun at them, resulting in deputies opening fire and killing the suspect. Deputies rescued the teenager who was with the suspect. A vigil was.
Unfortunately, despite being like kidnapped and all that, the teenager was found to be unharmed once authorities caught up with Edwards. Police later said the girl was placed under protective care and reunited with extended family members through the trauma of the ordeal. So once the cops identified everybody and realized that it was a crime scene, the description of Edwards, his red Kia Soul, was broadcasted to surrounding agencies, Investigators traced Edwards' movement as he drove into the San Bernardino County. Later in the day, the sheriff's department found Edwards' vehicle and began checking it out, the scene, seeing where it was at. When officers attempted to stop him, Edwards reportedly opened fire on them, initiating a gun battle. Law enforcement returned fire, striking Edwards, and boom, unalived him at the scene. The confrontation brought an abrupt end to the manhunt, but left investigators with an urgent task: piecing together why a law enforcement officer from Virginia traveled all the way to Riverside. What? It don't make no sense. He was catfishing her. Immediately after Edwards was unalived, security and safety of the teenage victim, who was found physically unharmed but deeply traumatized. They found her. Detectives began combing through Edwards' online activities. Cops pretty much went through that fool's fucking computer. They went through all his stuff, and they found out that Edwards was a cop, yes, and pretty much he's a dirtbag. So that's what they found out, that he was a cop and he was a dirtbag. Investigators later concluded that Edwards had used law enforcement training to carry out this plan, traveling undetected and carrying out the attack with a calculated brutality. It's just sad, man. Rest in peace to the family. F that dude, bro. Forget that fool Edwards, piece of shit. Anyways, yeah, let's not go there. But then, after all was said and done, in Riverside, the grief spread quickly. The family was well known and loved in the community. A memorial grew outside the burned home, and neighbors left flowers, candles, and notes in memory of Mark, Sharie, and Brooke. Rest in peace. Local leaders, school officials, and community members vowed sorrow and outrage, emphasizing the need for parents to be vigilant about online safety. The tragedy served as a reminder of how online predators could reach homes, bypassing traditional boundaries of distance and security. The case blew up everywhere. It got a gang of media attention from everybody. The disturbing elements of online catfishing, triple unalive, abduction, arson, a suspect who had once was a cop. All this, people were like, dang, yo, this is crazy how all this can be in this case. Cops pretty much across the U.S. were forced to reckon with how individuals like Edwards could pass background checks and be employed in trusted roles. Oh, wow. So what you're saying is cops are baffled that this fool was a weirdo. Pfft, get out of here, bro. Everybody knows, there's good and bad cops, but let's leave it at that.
A vigil was held over the weekend for the family.
I've known her over 22 years, and they're just loving. And this is just terrible. I just can't even imagine.
The victim's daughter thanked the community for all the support. Detectives say the suspect worked for the Virginia State Police before getting a job at the Washington County Sheriff's Office in Virginia.